Senate will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, would you please call the roll?
Senators Aguilar, Baumgartner, Cook, Quorum, Court,
Absent.
Crowder, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez-Jimenez, Merrifield, Moreno, Neville, Priola, Scott.
Excused.
Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zinzinger, Court. Mr. President.
Here. Morning roll call. It's 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excused. We have a quorum. Senator Court, would you please come and lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, guests, please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Approval of the journal. Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the journal of Friday, January 20th, 2017 be dispensed with and that the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have 2 more days of that, and then we take away the script, Senator Fenberg. You've heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. I didn't hear it. Senate Services.
Correctly enrolled, Senate Joint Resolution 3, 4, and 5.
We got all right. General Order, second reading of bills. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of General Orders, second reading of bills calendar.
Motion before the body is to resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the General Orders, second reading of bills calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of General Orders, second reading of bills calendar, and Senator Neville will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 15?
Senate Bill 15 by Senator Aguilar and Representative Pabon concerning the unlawful.
Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 15 and the Judiciary Committee report.
To the committee report. Senator
Thank you,
Aguilar.
members. In the Judiciary Committee report, we had to revise the language to make sure that it specified that we were talking about people who knowingly advertise the unlawful sale of marijuana. We also made some modifications to ensure that people who have a license in other states and advertise in magazines in our state are not inadvertently picked up by this, and as well to make sure that people who are creating medical marijuana-infused products or testing facilities can advertise to get their services used. And I move for its adoption.
Is there any discussion of the committee report? Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee did consider this amendment that makes up the report. Found it to be necessary to cover some concerns from the industry, and so we would ask for an aye vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this is a bill that came out of the Marijuana Interim Committee. As you know, under federal law, marijuana is illegal, but the Attorney General has indicated that they will not prosecute as long as we show compliance with several requirements, including doing our best to avoid the black and gray market. And specifically what this bill says is that if you do not have a license to sell marijuana, you may not advertise to sell marijuana. And the sergeants are passing out to you, I apologize for its delay, a little flyer that shows that on August 15th of 2016, there were over 690 advertisements on Craigslist in Denver alone for the illegal sale of marijuana. And so with the passage of this bill, it will give our law enforcement the authority to go in and check on those folks and hopefully stop this illegal advertising.
Senator Aguilar, sorry. Please give your attention to the senator in the well. Keep your side conversations to a minimum. Thank you. Continue, Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, sir. And so with this bill, hopefully we will be able to decrease the illegal advertising of marijuana, particularly on internet sites, and I'd ask for your support.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for bringing this bill, Senator Aguilar. It is a serious problem. We're talking about the fact that we have people advertising for the sale of marijuana that are not licensed to sell marijuana. That's called drug dealing, frankly. So it's really important that we pass this bill, and I thank you for bringing it and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 17015. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. Senate Bill 15 is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee rise and report.
The motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Senate will come back to order. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee has met and had one bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report as under consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 15 is amended, passed on second reading in order and engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Neville.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of the report.
Motion before us is adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, or 0 absent, 1 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. And Senator Neville has your reward for being the first to run the committee of the whole this session and calling me Mr. Chair. You get a $5 fine. Yeah. The first time you did, not the second time. Yeah. I'll take a $10 bill, that's fine. We'll get you change.
Delayed fines. There should be a statute of limitations.
Message from the governor.
January 9, 2017, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate and appoint subject to your consideration the following members of the Public Utilities Commission of the State of Colorado, effective January 9, 2017, for a term expiring January 7, 2019. Wendy Moser of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Republican, occasioned by the resignation of Joshua B. Epple of Greenwood Village, Colorado, appointed effective January 9, 2017, for a term expiring Monday preceding the second Tuesday in January 2021. Jeffrey Paul Ackerman of Denver, Colorado, Democrat, to serve as the chair, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy.
December 6, 2016, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, and reappoint, and submit to your consideration the following members of the State Board for Community College and Occupational Education, effective December 31, 2016, for a term expiring December 31, 2020. Stratton Rollins Raleigh Heath Jr. of Boulder, Colorado, a Democrat and resident of the 2nd Congressional District, appointed. Russell Joseph Meyer of Parker, Colorado, Democrat and resident of the 4th Congressional District, reappointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Education.
December 6, 2016, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, reappoint, and submit to your consideration the following Board of Trustees for the University of Northern Colorado, effective December 31, 2016, for a term expiring December 31, 2020. Anthony Darren Salazar, Denver, Colorado, to serve as unaffiliated, reappointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Education.
July 21, 2016, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, reappoint, and submit to your consideration the following members of the Colorado Commission on the Aging for a term expiring July 1, 2020. Julie Horner Mowry of Denver, Colorado, to serve as unaffiliated, the 1st Congressional District, appointed. Ruth Elaine Long for Fort Collins, Colorado, to serve as Democrat for the 2nd Congressional District, reappointed. Deborah K. Bailey, Grand Junction, Colorado, to serve as Republican for the 3rd Congressional District, reappointed. Marvin Joseph Urban of Colorado Springs, Colorado, to serve as Democrat for the 5th Congressional District, reappointed. Jay McLean Barnes of Lakewood, Colorado, to serve as Republican for the 7th Congressional District, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Health and Human Services.
September 15, 2016, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, submit to your consideration the following members of the Colorado Commission on the Aging for a term expiring July 1, 2020. Connie Mae Ring, Springfield, Colorado, to serve as an unaffiliated from the 4th Congressional District, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Health and Human Services. Signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Joint Resolution 6.
Announcements. Minority Leader Guzman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to announce that some contraband has been left on my desk. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but I would like to give this announcement so that whoever it belongs to would receive it. It just says that it's to somebody, to me, their best friend, and it's just signed the Big D, and just wondering who this belongs to. Big D meaning Donald, I think. But anyway, contraband is in here, and I think we have some rules against that.
Thank you. Senator Court.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to remind you again about the restorative justice luncheon coming up on Monday, a week from today, the 30th, from 12 to 1 in room 112. Come hear all about the Restorative Justice Coordinating Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Gardner.
Judiciary Committee members, listen up and excuse my rough-hewn House manners, Mr. President. Senate Bill 19, which was scheduled to be heard today, Senate Bill 19 by Senator Martinez-Yuminick, will be laid over to a later date at the request of the sponsor. Thank you.
Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. Colleagues, I wish to personally invite you to a caucus, the Colorado Legislature Runaway and Homeless Youth Caucus. We will be meeting for the first time on Wednesday, this Wednesday from 12 to noon in HCR 111 in the basement. And if you are interested in participating in this caucus, which will meet the fourth Wednesday of every month, please RSVP. There is a flyer on your desk that has the RSVP number, and you should have received this flyer electronically. Again, this Wednesday at 12 noon in HCR 111, and the topic for our first caucus meeting is Understanding Youth Homelessness. Thank you.
Senator Todd.
Good morning, colleagues. And I just want to remind you that today is the Aerospace and Defense Caucus Luncheon across the street in 1525 Sherman, and room 603, I believe, is the number. And I know that there's also the Veterans Caucus, so you have to pick and choose where you're going to be today. Both of them are valuable and important to us, and so I want to encourage you to attend. Thank you.
Senator Fenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick reminder that the US 36 Mayors and Commissioners Coalition is hosting their annual day at the Capitol tomorrow. It is in the old Supreme Court chamber from 7:30 to 9, and there will be light breakfast and coffee available.
Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I have a couple of things this morning. If you notice here on the podium this morning, or if you haven't, this is the ribbon from the steer that we bought the other night from Miss Charlie Teague, who had that animal out there. And we did have a winning bid on that for around $11,000. I wanted to thank everyone that participated. We as a legislature only raised about $5,500, so I also wanted to thank the people in the lobby that contributed and everyone else that contributed to the Colorado General Assembly being able to buy a steer out at the National Western Stock Show auction the other night. Mr. President, I have a couple of others, if I can just...
Please.
Okay, thank you. Also, the flyers will be on your desk tomorrow morning for the Sportsman Caucus that will be meeting Thursday at noon. If you've been here before, you know we have those really great hot dogs that we serve for lunch. If you can, please attend. That will be Thursday down in room 111 in the basement. And also, if today is the third, yeah, also this evening down at the Brown Palace, there is the Airport and Aviation Legislative Reception. And also the Tourism Reception. Both of them are there at the Brown Palace this evening, and we know how that works. You kind of go back and forth. So I just wanted to make those announcements. Thank you, Mr. President, for your time, and
Thank you.
members.
Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just thought I would report to you this morning the Youth Corps awards ceremony happened over in the Supreme Court Justice, and this senator, and there's one there, I can't name you, but anyway, it's kind of impressive. They're at the Capitol. They went over to the House today. You know, what they do is their commitment to the trails and parks is really amazing. You know, they cleared 400 miles of trails and cut 27,000 trees down to clear these trails. And I think if you see them today, congratulate them, because this is really this is an effort that the youth really get off on. And I think it is a huge benefit to all of the state, and I just want to commend the senators that spoke at that issue. Unfortunately, I did not have one out of my area, but I'm always there to support that. But the Youth Corps, it is something to behold. I just thought I would let you know about that. Thank you.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, on your desk this morning, you found a flyer that flags 4 important Wednesdays over the course of this section that the Colorado General Assembly will have a behavioral health caucus. I hope that you can find one of those Wednesdays to join. These are important conversations that allow us to figure out solutions around mental health in our state. So please find this piece of paper that has the blue on the top and add those to your calendar, and if you can make it a priority to attend one, it would be appreciated by many of us. Thank you.
Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask for a moment of personal privilege, please?
Granted.
Thank you. Members, and I apologize, this is a little bit more serious. Today is the 6th anniversary of the death of my niece, Jessica Lopez, who was unfortunately afflicted with heroin addiction and died at the age of 20. In fact, it was my very first session here that I had to take leave to go to attend her really obviously sad funeral. Since then, I've had the privilege of being involved with the work of the Harm Reduction Action Center, which just by coincidence is having an open house today across the street. And through the years, we have made it now that anyone can go into a pharmacy and buy naloxone or Narcan, which is the antidote for opiate overdose. And so if you have someone who you love and you know or you suspect they might be abusing opiates, I would encourage you to make a purchase and have it on hand, because the results are really tremendous. And today, if you'd like to learn more about the efforts taking place in our city and our state around reaching out to people who are addicted to opiates and to heroin, you're welcome to visit the Harm Reduction Center. It's right across the street on Colfax, right next to Phonatic. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Colleagues, all of you are probably seeing the news. We've had a lot of things going on this week from a political standpoint, but over the weekend, our friends and colleagues in the Southeast were hit with a number of tornadoes. And of course, there's a loss of life, loss of property, and in some cases, a loss of livelihood, or at least definitely a disjunct in what people are doing on a regular basis. You know, I have a number of friends and colleagues, former colleagues, particularly in the Hattiesburg area, and also in the Louisiana area, and, well, Alabama and Georgia, too. So, you know, from my days in the food service distribution business. The positive news I think that we can talk about in that area, I listened to the news this morning, and the mayor of Hattiesburg, you know, who I've met on several occasions, was talking about positive things and trying to get rid of the looky-loos that were coming into the city that stopped the progress in trying to recover. But a very, very resourceful group. Most of those same areas were hit by Katrina, and back in 2005. And so they're going to be back in building. But what I would ask you to do is please take a moment out of, as we always should, out of our busy political workings, and take a moment and just remember those people in your thoughts and prayers. And if you have an opportunity and you have a friend down there, give them a call. And I believe the administration is moving very rapidly with support in that area, and that's always good to see. We know that we had some challenges after Katrina, and so hopefully we've learned some lessons there. But please keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Senator. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, thank you so much for signing the initial form, initialing or signing. We've got everyone's signature there. With that, Mr. President, I move the Senate adjourn until 9 a.m. Tuesday, January 24th.
Motion before the body is to adjourn to 9 a.m. Tuesday, January 24th. Is there any objection? Seeing none, that motion is adopted and we are adjourned.